Hello, dear. I am so glad you're here. Come sit with me for a moment, just woman to woman. There is something very important I need to share with you, something I wish I had known years ago. There is a sign your body has been sending you that most women over 60 mistake for something else entirely. I mistook it for 12 long years, 12 years of missing what was right in front of me. Think of a beautiful old garden. When the leaves start to wilt, we often think it's just the season changing. We don't realize the roots are simply thirsty for one specific nutrient to keep them strong and vibrant. 12 years of thinking what I was feeling was simply aging, doing what aging does. I told myself it was normal. I thought, well, I'm just getting older. I should expect to feel this way. But I was wrong. It was not aging. It was my body running low on something it needed every single day, like a lamp flickering because the oil is low. My body was crying out for help, and I didn't know the language it was speaking. I am 71 years old now. I went through menopause at 52, and looking back, I realized that's when the flickering really started. But nobody told me what that change would do to my magnesium levels. Not a single soul. Not my gynecologist, not my general practitioner. They all meant well, but they missed it too. Not even the tall stack of books I read late at night, trying to understand why I felt so diminished. I found out the hard way, through trial and error and many tired mornings, but I don't want that for you. I want to make sure you do not have to go through that same long, dark tunnel of confusion that I did. Stay with me, because the sign I am about to describe is one that most women dismiss without a second thought. Dismissing it cost me more than a decade of feeling worse than I needed to feel. I want better for you. Are you ready to hear what that sign is? It's so simple, yet so easily missed. After menopause, my body changed in ways I expected and in ways nobody had prepared me for. The hot flashes, the sleep disruption, the shifts in mood, those I had read about, I was ready for those. But there was something else that arrived quietly. It settled in without announcing itself, like a guest who doesn't intend to leave. It was a tiredness that was different from ordinary tiredness, not the kind that a good night's sleep fixes. It was the kind that is still sitting on your chest when you wake up in the morning, even after a full night in bed. It felt like wearing a heavy, wet coat that you just couldn't take off, no matter how much you wanted to. I also noticed that my muscles felt different, a low, persistent tightness that lived in my calves and my shoulders. It stayed there regardless of how much I stretched or how many warm baths I took. It was just there. And at night, cramps that woke me from sleep, sharp enough to make me gasp for air in the dark. I told my doctor about the fatigue. I told her I just didn't feel like myself anymore. She ran the standard panel: thyroid, iron, vitamin D, blood sugar. We checked all the usual boxes that doctors check for women our age. Everything came back within normal range, and she told me what I had been told so many times before. She said this was likely hormonal adjustment and that it could take time. I accepted that. I thought I had to. I went home and I kept feeling the way I had been feeling. The cramps continued, the tiredness continued. And I added them to the long list of things I had quietly decided were simply my new normal, the price of aging. Then my sister called me from out of state. She was 68 at the time, and she had just come from an appointment. She had learned something that changed how she understood the last several years of her own health. She said, "Have you ever had your magnesium tested properly?" I told her I assumed it had been checked. She said, "It usually is not, and that is the problem. Do you see, dear, magnesium is the missing piece." I went back to my doctor and I asked specifically for a magnesium test, not the standard serum magnesium that appears on a routine panel. I asked for a more detailed assessment of what was actually available inside my cells. My doctor was receptive and she ordered it for me. Then came the waiting. I remember sitting in my garden, wondering if this would finally be the answer I was looking for. The results showed I was significantly depleted. She looked at the number and then she looked at me and said, This explains quite a lot, actually. And then she said something that stopped me completely. She said, estrogen plays a role in helping the body retain magnesium. Think of estrogen as a warm, protective embrace for your minerals, keeping them where they need to be. When estrogen drops after menopause, that embrace loosens and magnesium depletion accelerates. And most women are never told that connection exists. I sat there in that quiet office thinking about the 12 long years I had spent chalking my symptoms up to age. 12 years of muscle cramps at 3 in the morning. 12 years of tiredness that sleep could not reach. 12 years of feeling like my body had become something I no longer fully recognized. All of it sitting on top of a deficiency nobody had looked for. All those years of struggle when the answer was so simple. My doctor and I put together a plan, and I want to share what I learned from it. Always under medical guidance, mind you, never in place of it. It's a journey we take together with our healers. The first thing I learned was that not all magnesium supplements are equal. The form matters enormously. It's like choosing the right key for a very specific lock in your body. Magnesium oxide, which is the most common form found in drugstores, is actually poorly absorbed by the body. Research points to magnesium glycinate and magnesium malate as far better forms, especially for us. My doctor recommended magnesium glycinate specifically for my nighttime cramps and the quality of my sleep. Within 3 weeks, the cramps reduced significantly. I was sleeping through the night. It wasn't magic, but it felt like a miracle. For the first time in years, I woke up feeling truly rested. Now, the second thing I learned was about food sources. Magnesium is found in so many wonderful things. Dark leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, almonds, and even a bit of dark chocolate. It's nature's way of nourishing us. But here is what most lists leave out. After menopause, even a diet rich in these foods may not be enough to maintain our levels. Our bodies change, and so does the way we take in goodness. The body's ability to absorb magnesium from food also decreases with age, which means what worked at 40 may not be sufficient at 60 or 70. Food becomes supportive rather than sufficient. The third thing I learned was about what depletes magnesium faster than we realize. Stress is one of the most significant forces our bodies face. It's like a thief in the night. Every time the stress response activates, the body burns through magnesium at an accelerated rate. It's like a battery draining too fast when the light is left on. Caffeine, too, accelerates its loss through the kidneys. And certain common medications, including some prescribed for blood pressure and acid reflux, can interfere with magnesium absorption over time. We often don't realize what our daily habits are doing. I was drinking 3 cups of coffee a day and had been for 30 years. I reduced it to 1 cup in the morning and moved it away from my supplement so the two were not competing for my body's attention. The fourth thing we addressed was sleep. Magnesium plays a central role in regulating the nervous system and preparing the body for deep, restorative rest. It's the lullaby our cells need. When levels are low, the nervous system stays in a state of low-grade activation. It's like a humming wire that makes it very difficult to reach those deeper stages of sleep where we truly heal. This is why so many women after menopause describe sleep that feels shallow and unrestoring, even when the hours look adequate on paper. You wake up, but you don't feel like you've been away. Within 6 weeks of addressing my levels, my sleep changed in a way I had not experienced since my 40s. Deeper, quieter, and I was waking up feeling like the night had actually done something for me. The fifth thing my doctor mentioned was the connection between magnesium and mood. It's involved in the production of serotonin, the part of us that holds on to emotional steadiness and calm. I had noticed an emotional flatness for years and assumed it was just who I had become. But 3 months in, I felt something returning, a lightness, small but real, and mine again. I am 71 years old, and I feel more like myself than I did at 59. That should not be true, and for a long time, I did not believe it could be. It felt like my best days were behind me. But the body is remarkably responsive when you give it what it has been missing, even after years of running low. It's like a parched field after a long-awaited rain. Even at an age when most people assume the direction only goes one way, towards slowing down and fading. It doesn't have to be that way, dear. It really doesn't. The sign I wish I had not ignored for all those years was the muscle cramps. Specifically, the nighttime cramps that woke me from sleep, sharp and demanding. If you are experiencing that, please don't just sigh and turn over. Bring it up at your next appointment. Tell your doctor what your body is telling you. Ask specifically about a magnesium assessment, not as a replacement for anything your doctor has already prescribed, but as a question worth asking in that room. Because the answer might open a door that has been standing closed for longer than it needed to be. A door back to yourself and to the life you still have to live. I wish someone had told me at 52 what I am telling you right now. I cannot go back and give that gift to my younger self. That time is gone. But I can give it to you today, and I want you to have it. I want you to feel the lightness that I finally found. I want you to feel whole again. Sometimes our bodies speak in whispers, and we just need a little help translating what they're saying. If my story today reached something deep inside you, something you've been feeling but didn't have a name for, I'd be so honored if you subscribe to this channel. We're building a beautiful community here, a circle of support where no one has to feel alone in their journey. Every single week, we bring you those vital health conversations that menopause should have come with, but somehow didn't. We're filling in the blanks that were left in our stories for far too long. Conversations about vitality, about understanding our bodies, and about finding our way back to the lightness we deserve. I'd love to hear from you, truly. It's through sharing our experiences that we all grow stronger. Leave a comment below and tell me, have you ever had your magnesium properly tested? Not just the standard blood work that we talked about before, but that deeper assessment that looks inside our cells. Was that door ever opened for you, or has it remained closed? And tell me, how long have you been living with those symptoms? The ones you quietly assumed were just part of getting older, the ones you tucked away in the back of your mind as your new normal. We so often accept things that we don't have to. We assume the weight on our chest or the tightness in our muscles is just the tax we pay for the gift of more years. But it doesn't have to be that way. I want to know your story. I will be reading every single one of your comments, dear. I promise you that. Your voice matters to me, and it matters to all of us here. We're walking this path together now. No more guessing in the dark. No more wondering why we feel so diminished. We're stepping into the light, hand in hand. That lightness I found. I want that for you too. It's a quiet kind of freedom, isn't it? To finally understand what your body has been trying to tell you all this time. Because next week we're going to talk about a second hidden sign, one that might be even more common than the cramps. Are you ready for that? Stay with me, dear. I'll see you in the next part.